question, and I'll
Yes, please.
Vivian's much better at this than I. But from the layman's terms, very high pH. You crank open the cuticle layer of the hair to allow the colour molecule to be forced inside the hair.
Yeah.
And what we've done with our new product that's called Miracle Shot, is we're using that mechanism of a very, very high pH to piggyback conditioner on the back of the colour molecule going right into the centre of the hair.
Lovely. Yeah, amazing.
Very good. So normally what...
Got it in one, yes.
So normally what would happen is very high pH, colour goes in, and then you reduce the pH when you rinse and wash, and you then slather on conditioner, and the conditioner sticks to the hair.
Yeah.
Because conditioner is positively charged and the hair is negatively charged.
Yeah.
But the next time you wash your hair, it just washes off again.
Yeah.
So, and the problem is that the conditioner and the colour are at war, and you couldn't actually combine them. So they're not, you can't get colour that has conditioner in it, because it would be a horrible, not like mess in the bottle. So it simply doesn't mix.
Yeah.
But if you mix it fresh for 45 minutes, an hour, it will stay perfect, and it will be in a state in which it can be taken into the hair. But leave it any longer, and equally it would turn into snot.
Okay. So eloquently put, Vivian.
So you can't. So for me, and you know what? I've got a big admiration for formulation scientists. Because formulation scientists, they are the lowest of the low. Normally, nobody ever talks about them, but they are absolute alchemists, and they put together things which actually would normally fight each other to the death, like rats in a sack. And they managed to make them work together. So, I mean, we're not mentioning other products, but in the beauty side, you think of a product like sun cream, where that is it's one of the most difficult things to formulate overall, because there are so many different ingredients and you want to do so many different things. So what Josh's product is not a single hero ingredient that he's discovered. Rather, it's a cocktail of existing conditioners and vitamins, which have been reformulated in order to be able to deliver in this way. So it's a combination of the formulation plus the delivery of it fresh, which allows the conditioner to follow the colour into the hair, and then when you reduce the pH and wash, you get a hydrophobic barrier on the outside of the hair, which prevents both the colour leaving, but also some of the conditioner. So that's the theory of it, and there's a plausible biology behind it.
Amazing. How fab that you're launching this as well, right now, Josh. I mean, have you been working on this for years?
Yeah, I've been working on the idea of delivering condition in a very different way since we launched the product. I mean, it was part of the initial thinking.
Yeah.
But it's just now that we've got this idea that's the power of three. So we've got the permanent colour kit. We've got the shade shot whereby you influence and adjust tone. Yeah. And now we've got the miracle shot, which addresses any adverse condition. And I've been working on the technology for about 3 years. And, when I get with the technicians and the scientists, they're quite terrified of me because I'm asking them to behave in a different way.
Yeah.
And generally in hair colour, which is a very dusty old category, they haven't really been tasked with doing anything new, probably ever. They tweak formulations, they improve things. Actually, when I'm talking to the people that formulate colour, their biggest role is to remove things that are either now no longer legal to use,
like ammonia, yeah,
or certain dye stuffs, especially in dark colours. Some of the dye stuffs are extinct.
Wow.
So they're engineering to take things out rather than to have a vision of creating something new for the future. And a lot of that, Alice, comes from the community. People saying, I've been colouring my hair for 20 odd years, I'm terrified I'm going to go bald, am I going to get bits dropping out, my hair's so frizzy, it's burnt.
Yeah.
We believe that long-term colouring is incredibly damaging to the hair.
Yeah.
And this is addressing, I guess, that problem, as Vivian very eloquently said, at the moment that you're causing the stress in the first place.
Yeah.
That is actually, in a nutshell, the combination of existing conditioners, but the real innovation in this formulation is the fact that we're using the negative properties of hair colour to deliver benefits.
Yes, very clever, very elegant. Yeah.
What I think is interesting, Alice, is that I think that only a company like Josh's could have done this.
Sorry, go on.
It's coming at a particular moment when people are thinking after lockdown. First of all, people realise the value of their hair colour. So where was the first place that everyone wanted to do and was completely panicked about? I mean, the French brought back hairdressers.
Day one.
But people realise the value of their hair colour in defining themselves and in how they project themselves. But I also think that what we've got coming towards us, which people haven't even begun to appreciate yet, is this huge financial impact.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are not going to have the money to go out and go to a hair salon.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be a fact of life. And I think there's always been a bit of a stigma about doing it coloured hair. I mean, for some people, it's just, the thing that they do with their weekly shop. But for other people, it's a real stigma to say that actually they can't afford to go to the
Okay, good point. Yeah.
It's quite shaming, really, in a way. I think that the hair colour category has been driven to be a utility. I mean, Alice, I've said this before. When we were launching the product, we first started to talk to retailers. We were talking to the toiletries buyers. We weren't even talking to beauty buyers.
Wow.
So the big boys had pushed it to be such a value offer. I mean, if you think you can buy a hair colour, if you're buying it 3 for 2, and each unit's £2.99, the ingredients can't be that sophisticated.
But I do think you have single-handedly managed to turn that around to a great extent, because you think of all the people who've been talking, flexing a bit on Instagram, like I did my own hair, the Josh Wood, it's you've made it an acceptable thing to do for that conflicted punter that Vivian was just talking about, because this is a very sophisticated and elegant way of dealing with the necessity as it's become.
I mean, that was definitely the starting point to change the conversation and to elevate the experience that people had. I mean, the at-home colour market and the in-salon market has been totally owned by the big 5 manufacturers.
Yeah.
And like oil and water, never should the twain meet. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the consumer's behaving in a very different way. And they were doing it pre-COVID. I mean, COVID's definitely shone a light on it.
Yeah.
But, there's so many people saying, I'll go and have my balayage, I'll have my highlights, I'll go 2 or 3 times a year, but the roots, I'm just going to have to manage them myself. And some of that actually has come from a younger demographic of people that are greying, getting grey hairs, late 20s, early 30s, thinking, I'm not going to become a slave to the salon, but I'm certainly not using the bloody box colour that my mother used or my grandmother used.
Yeah.
There's a desperate need in the community for something different. But overall, whatever age, men, women, whoever's using our product, the one commonality is fear of condition.
Okay.
And you know, that was really the driving force to create the miracle shot. And dare I say, a very proud moment for me, Alice, that we've cracked it.
Yeah.
It wasn't an easy one to crack by any, and we've got more work to do because telling this story is not going to be an easy story to tell.
No, but, I think you it's a really clear, you know, you could do it as an elevator pitch, couldn't you? I mean, this is the problem. Here's a radically different, you know, innovative solution. I've understood it.
Well done, Al.
I've understood it.
Holly, quickly.
From your. But seriously, I mean, you know, I get so many people ringing up and saying, oh, you know, we'd like to tell you about this thing and it's a this and it's a bit like that. I think, God, it sounds a bit of a yawn and I don't see what's different and I don't see the need. So, you know, thanks, but here you've presented it incredibly neatly without the need for all the scientific charts, which I know you could do and which Vivian would explain beautifully. But no, fantastic. I'm sold. You know, hole in one.
We've got all of those charts, Alice. They're coming to you.
Fab. And so, how is it? How will it manifest itself in the world? Is it every colour will have this option attached to it, or offered with it, or? Yeah. What? How?
Our intention it will only be sold on joshuacolour.com.
Yeah.
So it won't go into booths. It won't go into any of our retail partners.
Clever.
We've had to almost build a new website within the website to educate people. It doesn't have a standalone price, so it comes with a colour kit, a shade shot, and a miracle shot, and that bundle is £29.
Wow.
But just by the nature of filling in our online consultation or having one of our video consultations, we cover off condition. It actually happens quite far up the journey because people talk about two things. My grey hair doesn't cover, my hair's terribly dry. So we're already entering the conversation of condition quite early on. So the minute you take the very dry, frizzy, brittle, breakage, whatever, or you're on a video consultation and our online colour consultants can see that your hair is damaged, we start that idea of condition, and then it's about us to it's our responsibility then to educate the person that this is a completely new vehicle of thinking about how you condition.
Okay, yeah. But I suppose it just makes sense to me because in the Tweakments area where I spend most of my time, all the skin, there's a lot of new regenerative skin conditioning treatments, injectable moisture. So you inject that moisture into the skin to help it do its job. It's like having the moisturizer on the inside. There is so much from skincare that's coming across to the hair care category and has been, you know, all the articles we've seen in the last year or so saying, you know, skincare for hair care and all the rest of it, just approaching it differently. So that this seems to me fantastic to find that, you know, conditioning at source rather than, because you can feel it, you know, can't you, with your hair? You put conditioner on, you know, it's just sliding around on the ends and it hasn't got any further in, however much of a heat pack or whatever you try and do with it. So to have something that will get there from the inside, I mean, it's a great sort of offering of hope as well to people. You know, I'm lucky with my hair; it's pretty resilient stuff, so I don't have, you know, maybe I should worry more about the condition of it. But for people who, you know, it gets to that kind of frazzled state where you don't want to brush it. It looks like it's going to snap at any moment, but they feel they need the colour. You know, that this is going to be a lifesaver, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have got that feeling. I mean, they're terrified that they've ruined their hair.
Yeah.
And that's an awful feeling because you feel, in some ways, you're responsible for it somehow because you've agreed to the treatment in the first place. So I'm really. And we're getting data. It's not ready yet, but we're getting data that will substantiate the fact that each time that you use the product, so every 6 weeks or so when you colour your hair, you're actually building on the improvements that you've already made. So it's incremental improvement each time you use it.
Oh, wow. Okay, that was also what I wanted to ask. Like, is it you only obviously use it when you use the colour? There isn't a... well, will this be the next thing? A standalone... sudden pH lowering
product in formulation, Alice, supports this as a topical application.
Okay.
Not ready yet.
No, sounds amazing. Okay, so when is it launching? Is it launching right now?
November 2nd. No, we've got a little time. We wanted to grab people early because it's such a different conversation to have, and I think we wanted to chat to people early enough to then we can send through the clinicals and the instrumentals, which literally the first stage of them has come through this morning, so I can pop over some of those more kind of statistics alongside the education.
Okay.
But November 2nd.
Fab. And what would be helpful to you? I could try and pitch it at the Mail. I do occasionally still write for them. They are, as ever, incredibly difficult to interest in something, though hair colour is they know, a topic very close to their middle-aged ladies' readers' hearts. So would that be useful, or have you already got somebody...
No, definitely. And I think you're so right. It's such a conversation. One, they know they have an audience for it. What's funny, Alice, is how many people in publications don't realise there's such a massive audience for it and are kind of blindsided because they personally get lovely free hair.
Yes, of course,
salons. They've got no quite concept of what their reader is actually dealing with. And so you've hit the nail on the head there, that actually at least we're really going after publications that know their audience and know there's a real need to read something that's really positive about a category they normally shove to the back of the bathroom cabinet, and so definitely Daily Mail would be fantastic. And I'll pop through those stats and see what even the theme could be, that the innovation is right.
Oh, it doesn't have to be anything more than what it is, which the one thing about home hair colour, A, it's often been a bit rubbish, but B, it wrecks your hair. And now top leading guru Josh Wood has come up with this extraordinary thing, and then they'll probably require me to do my hair at home and make a mess of it. But I wouldn't make a mess of it, would I, Josh? Particularly not
Definitely
with...
not.
Thank you.
We've ruined your hair a few times along the journey together, haven't we?
Never ruined my hair. It's always you I come to for the repair.
Come out the other side, okay. You remember the mousy blonde?
Mousy blonde took all day, didn't it? And it looked really good in the pictures. But it was a work of art. And you weren't responsible for the ginger nor the pink. But it survives, and I'm still not ready to go grey, so there we go.
Right. Alice, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you both. Thank you all. And this is fab, and I'll wait to hear on follow up and whatever about details. But what an absolute joy to get to see you both on screen. And this sounds absolutely wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you, Alice.
Okay. Speak soon. Lots of love. Bye now.
Bye.